Welcome back to Buzz Recaps. Today, I will explain a romantic drama film released in 2013. Before moving ahead, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. The movie begins with some lawyers and judges celebrating the New Year's Eve party in 2013. At the same time, far away from that party, 40-year-old Ariana was busy with her work. Ariana works 10 to 15 hours in high court and has been living alone for years. She only loves her job and stays away from men. She was living in freedom without her family because she saw other families' problems in front of her eyes every day. Her family was also scattered in her childhood when her father left home. Ariana looked into new cases in her office during the new year when people were celebrating happiness. However, the people working with Ariana came to talk and started insisting on drinking alcohol. Ariana also felt that she should be a part of the celebration. That's why she joined the party. She thought the people around her were strange, and she could not stop herself from drinking alcohol. She drank more than her limit, and somehow she started going towards her home. Later, 6 months have passed since that night, and Ariana was busy with her job every day. That day, a man came for a case, and he beat his wife in front of her, and Ariana was not ready to listen to anything that man was saying. Meanwhile, Ariana was told that if she made the right decision in that case, she could get a promotion in the court. It was not an ordinary thing to become a judge of a court at such a young age. Ariana was happy to know that. Meanwhile, a man named Godfrey was trying to flirt with her just like every day. Seeing Godfrey's behavior, Ariana and her friend Daisy both started laughing at him. Suddenly, Ariana's health started deteriorating, and after some time, she started vomiting. Later, when she went to the doctor for a checkup, she found out that she had been pregnant for 6 months. She was unaware of her pregnancy for 6 months, and at that moment, knowing about her pregnancy, she got the biggest shock of her life. She was also told that she can't even get an abortion. That's why she started trying to find out how she got pregnant. Her attention completely shifted away from her job, and she remembered the New Year's Eve party. She thought that maybe Judge Godfrey was her son's father. That's why she went to talk to him. She started talking about that night while talking about random things. For once, Godfrey told her that something had happened between them that night. However, Ariana wanted to get a DNA test done. For that, she used Godfrey's hair, which she would match with her son's blood. She took those hairs and her blood to a forensic doctor who was working on a dead body as if that was not a dead body but a toy. In the meantime, she started investigating Godfrey's ancestors. After seeing the faces of the family members, she started praying to God that Godfrey should not be the father of her child. Later, the DNA test was completed, and she was told that Godfrey's DNA did not match. The birth father of that child was a famous goon named Robert, aka Bob. After investigating, the doctor discovered that Bob had been stealing since childhood, and for his actions, he was thrown out of every school and orphanage. As he grew up, he was thrown out of every place he worked and became a famous thief. One day, a few months ago, he was also accused of an attempt to murder. The doctor laughingly told her that he was accused of cutting the hands and feet of an older man, taking out his eyes and eating them. While hearing about such a devil, Ariana lost her mind. At the same time, Inspector Edwards came to Ariana with a DNA test and told her that she had to handle the hearing of Bob's case. Later, Ariana was taken to see Bob, who was kept locked up as if he were a monster. And seeing all that, Ariana's stress increased, and she was still wandering in the hope of denying the truth. And then she took the help of security cameras, and she started looking at whatever happened on New Year's night. Ariana told the security guard that the woman in the video was her missing friend. With the help of a camera, she learned that she was wandering the whole city. And annoyingly, she entered a red light area while doing strange things. And then she started fighting with those prostitutes. After some time, Bob came over and took her with him. The result of the DNA test and Ariana's fear proved right, and Bob was the father. Later, it was time for Bob's interview in the court. Bob's lawyer got scared, knowing that his judge was Ariana, because Ariana was famous for her tough decisions, and he knew that she would not let him win the case. The lawyer also started scaring Bob. However, during the interrogation, Bob said that the night that the older man's hands and feet were cut, he was at home. Ariana wanted to prove him guilty as soon as possible. While in the meantime, Bob recognized Ariana by looking at Ariana's picture. He was unaware that Ariana was carrying his baby in her womb. And when Ariana told him to get out, Bob stole her wallet and took it with him. Later, Ariana lived with regret day and night because of her mistake. On the other hand, Bob is trying to escape from prison with the help of Ariana's wallet and his talent. Ariana gives her son a verdict on the accusation of being a thief. And right at that time, Bob had sneaked into her house. Ariana was about to kill her son after the verdict. However, at that moment, Bob stopped her. Although he couldn't stop her from getting unconscious, at that moment, Bob finds out that Ariana is pregnant. Bob locked himself up with Ariana in the same house and started waiting for her to come to her senses. After a while, she gains consciousness and realized that the child was still alive. She was disappointed, and then she was shocked to know that Bob was in her house. Ariana couldn't bear the shock, and again, she got unconscious. After a lot of hard work, Bob could calm her down, and he told Ariana that he would keep her pregnancy secret between him and her. However, in return, Ariana will have to help him with his case. Bob told him that he was a thief and he could not do anything like kill someone and stomp on someone's eyes. Meanwhile, Ariana was still scared of Bob, while Bob made her realize her mistake last night and explained that being a judge, she couldn't do such an illegal abortion by herself. Ariana was not ready to help him, which is why Bob locked her in the room and tried to keep her like a prisoner. While talking, Bob started asking Ariana about the child's father, but Ariana did not tell him anything. At the same time, news channels started spreading news about Bob, and people started calling him a demon. Not only that, famous serial killers began calling him their god because they could not eat the eyes of a human like Bob. Seeing such things about him, Bob began to cry, and then Ariana realized that maybe Bob was innocent. Ariana told him that she wanted to help him, but she couldn't help him much, because the man who was handling Bob's case was her boss, Godfrey. The next day, Bob disguised himself as a judge and took Ariana to meet her boss, who was still upset with Ariana. She asks him about Bob, but Godfrey refuses to give her Bob's case file. Meanwhile, showing his anger, Godfrey told Ariana to leave his office. However, he became the victim of his rage. Godfrey fainted because of his mistake, and Ariana got to steal Bob's file. As soon as she completed her work, and when she started leaving, Bob's lawyer suddenly came before him, and she succeeded in hiding Bob from his eyes. For hours, Ariana kept looking at Bob's file, and Bob kept waiting for her answer. After reading about his case for 24 hours, Ariana understood that there was no other suspect besides Bob. Bob had gone to steal in that house that night, and Ariana felt that maybe Bob must have committed the crime due to drug addiction. While talking, Ariana started to have a stomach ache, and Bob did not understand how he would handle her. Meanwhile, his strange behavior reduced Ariana's pain. After that, Ariana taught him to testify correctly. While talking about the case, Bob told her that the older man did not see him during the robbery. He started saying that the older man might have wanted to kill himself. That's why he gnawed his eyes open and cut his hands and legs. Meanwhile, Bob's theory was nonsense. After that, he said that there may have been an accident. Although the accident's imagination was so nonsense and impossible, Ariana started laughing. Bob was disappointed, and he gave up. And then Ariana found out that the time after stealing, at the time when the older man's hands and feet were cut, Bob was actually with Ariana. She needed help understanding whether she should help Bob or not, because helping him could ruin her name. After thinking for a long time, Ariana asked Bob where he had been after the robbery. At the same time, Bob forgets that he has gone to the red light area, where he met Ariana. At that time, Edwards came there, and Bob saw the hidden report in which the name of Ariana's son's father was written. Edwards thought Ariana's life was in danger because some people had seen Bob in that area. However, Bob was emotional after reading the report, and he started preparing to leave the house. He told Ariana she should keep her child with her because she can be a good mother, and that child will not be able to be raised properly in the orphanage in that country. Hearing that, Ariana understood that Bob had known the truth. After that day, Bob did not come in front of Ariana. The day of the birth of that child came close, and after 2.5 months, Ariana started working on new cases. One day, She was told that Bob was caught and was surprised to hear that. Bob was still called the devil who eats eyes, and soon, Bob's hearing began in the court. And Bob's lawyer was making his case worse. And Ariana knew that because of him, Bob would lose his case. Then, she decided to help Bob and went to the hearing to make a statement. She was feeling sick because of her pregnancy, but she still wanted to tell the truth. As soon as she told everyone that Bob was with her that night, everyone was surprised. And Bob also remembered that night. Whatever happened between them, Ariana told them everything and showed everyone the proof of her story. Telling the truth, she got unconscious, and soon the news came out that the criminal who did the murder and did that to that older man was a cannibal. Bob proved innocent, and he was sent to a rehab center. A few weeks later, he sneaked into Ariana's house to see his son. Ariana was pleased to see him, and Bob was happy to know that Ariana had kept his son. In the end, Ariana started liking Bob, and with the decision to move forward with his relationship together with Bob, she gave her son the name Steve. With that, movie ends here. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe. See you next time. Take care.